Hello! Welcome to the third year of WasteClan. This is your reminder that captions are available. I have handwritten them to make them as accurate as possible. In the last episode, Downystripe spent the year establishing her territory and defending it from persistent rogues. She scouted the land, getting a better understanding of what lies in her territory and where the borders with other clans are. Now as this year begins, she's finding herself tossing and turning in her nest. A nightmare about the dark forest clouds her mind the first moon. She wonders if StarClan sent her the dream. Had she done something to anger them? She takes her time trying to put her thoughts in order. Despite it only being Greenleaf, hunting has become difficult for Downystripe with these distractions. Memories of her former clanmates flood her mind. She thinks about Tadpole Kit in particular, a small, helpless kid who couldn't fight through the famine. She wishes she could have done better to provide for the clan. She wishes anyone but herself could be here now. Shaking the thoughts out of her mind, Downystripe focuses on finding something to eat. Betting on her luck, she ventures into two-leg territory, past a fence and into a field that domestic livestock roam. She comes across a fox feasting on a small calf carcass. She guesses it must have been a runt of the litter, a weak calf that the herd felt no need to watch. That must have been the only explanation for a fox to get a hold of such an excellent kill. Feeling a mix of confidence with her extra lives and desperation from hunger, she puffs up her fur and approaches the kill. The fox grumbles, wanting to scare her off, but she hisses and continues her advance. The two animals agree to disagree, giving each other room to feed on opposite ends of the calf, while sneaking frequent wary glances at the other. Downystripe is able to gather a few decent scraps to carry back to camp, though with only herself, she can't bring back as much as she'd like. Downystripe went into Leaffall feeling a tickle in her throat, which began to swell painfully shortly after, a telltale sign of green cough. Worry crept over her. She had no medicine cat, nor medical knowledge. How was she supposed to handle becoming ill? Would a blessed life from StarClan be able to withstand green cough? She thought back to her former leader, Pebblestar, and how Perchleaf would treat him whenever he was sick. Feeling drained of her strength, she spends her time chewing at leftover scraps and thinking. She breathes in the crisp air of Leaffall and stares at the distant, scattered trees as they lose their leaves. For some reason, the thoughts of living by the water cross her mind, though it's not like it would be a realistic idea. At most, she's found a paw full of murky ponds and narrow streams cutting through the vast plains. While bodies of water in her grassy wasteland are few and far between, she can't help but wonder if she'd be a good swimmer. The voices of StarClan echo in her mind during mid-leaf fall. Downystripe realizes that her food supply has become nothing more than half-eaten rodents and a mess of inedible bits and feathers. Hunger clouds her mind as she stares at the pitiful pile. However, her unfortunate bout of green cough has left her far too weak to leave her camp, let alone hunt. She picks off the few scraps that she has left, begging StarClan to give her strength. As hunger torments her and malnourishment sets in, she starts to contemplate living with two legs. The thought of free food makes her mouth water, especially with these horrific stomach aches. By the time that Leaf Bear starts, Downystripe can barely muster the energy to sit up. Any attempt to stand results in her stumbling back down. Before she can even process what's happened, the deadly combination of sickness and starvation rips a precious life from her. Shaky visions of StarClan cats cloud her mind, their faces blurred and difficult to read. She focuses on one, Silver Blossom, the cat who gifted her her first life, a life for endurance. How was he doing? She wondered. What did he think of this situation she got into? He greets her with a sympathetic smile, his usual playful and bright expression now holding a hint of sadness. With a touch of his nose, the green cough is drained from her. However, despite being healed of her sickness, the starvation still drains Downystripe. She lost 2 more lives during Leaf Bear. Too weak to hunt or even gather energy to lift herself up and leave her camp, she spends her time picking burrs caught in her fur and dreaming of the dark forest. StarClan seemed to both pull at her and push her away. The chill of the icy weather left her cold. Was StarClan sending this harsh weather, punishing her for the dream she had? Was this the end for her? Downystripe couldn't help but wonder. Normally, Newleaf would be a pleasant, welcoming season. The melting of snow, hearing the cries of newborn life, and seeing flowers blooming would bring joy to any cat. But to Downystripe, the warmth meant nothing. She's become too weak to clean her fur. She doesn't bother with the Newleaf bugs that explore her den. Instead, she lies in her nest and contemplates her life and choices. Down to just 5 lives left, feeling as though her previous were just wasted. Downystripe considers an alternative. She could always become a kitty pet. The inviting warmth of a 2-legged nest, the purr of other cats around her, never having to wonder where her next meal would be. Echoes of StarClan rang in her head. Her clanmates would never approve of that. They died, blessing her with 9 lives to continue on their legacy. Doing her best to fight off the voices of StarClan and the visions of the dark forest, she buries her face in her nest and begs StarClan to provide her strength. She loses 3 more lives to starvation. Her mind spirals into horrible guilt, wondering if this is how her clanmates felt when they died. The hot weather of Greenleaf not only reminds Downystripe of her hunger, but makes her thirsty too. Any decent puddle or stream was far out of her reach at this point, and the thought of dragging herself to a water source only made her feel even more exhausted. The visions of her former clanmates are clear now. At this point, she is begging them for mercy. Only 2 of her blessed lives remain, and a blurry cat she once knew curls up next to her, draining one of those lives away. Her pelt has already become decorated with spots of white, signifying her lost lives, marking where StarClan has touched her. It feels as though their paws are waiting to drag her into the sky. A mix of regret and disappointment fill her. She wished she had done better for her clan. She knew she wasn't worth the title of leader. As she relaxes her body, ready to join her starry clanmates, Downystripe opens her eyes one last time to see a couple of 2-legs wandering past her camp. That marks the end of Year 3. I offer a big thank you to Fennelfawn, who's helped me with stretching out the script and expanding on Downystripe's story. Let me know what you thought of this episode's storytelling. A reminder that if you want frequent updates and sneak peeks at uploads, you can join my Discord server linked below. We have a growing, friendly community there. It's where I often stream games, speed paints, and chat regularly. I give pings for things such as when I'm uploading videos, I'm selling adoptable characters, or when my commissions are open. Additionally, you can join my Ko-fi for $3 a month. This gets you a shout out at the end of my videos, in my descriptions, and other little gifts you could read about on my Ko-fi page. This is just another little way to support my channel. I hope you look forward to more episodes.